There we are.
Here we are.
How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to G.Parker Arcade Room, Off Grid Arcade, 10 o'clock Sunday night. With no plan in mind, no plan at all, other than to talk about our tournament. Take it away, Bart.
Yeah, hey, good to see everyone. And another fun week of this tournament is in the books. So we're through with we're through week 4, starting week 5, right? Today. So, yeah, Adventureland is next on the agenda, which started today. If you didn't get in yet, you've got time. Get in there, but you only get 5 plays. So you got to be careful, though. I always want to say get some practice in because you only get the 5 plays. But sometimes that practice game will kick your butt because you'll get a really good score. I'm pretty sure Mr. Postile did that in between 2 of his games. He played a practice game and got like 68 million, he said. When he wasn't in the tournament, he did a single player game. But and I just got a notification on my screen that Champagne Room is playing FX3 right now. So I think we're going to have a new score up on our leaderboard. But yeah, did you want to go over the standings right now of where we're sitting on the tournament?
Well, I can go where we're at with our sheet here. But
yeah,
real quick, I wanted to say, I wanted to agree with you and tell you that I'll tell you what. I can get this wild, crazy score every now and then. And we'll go over that when I talk about where we're standing so far on this one, because the leader right now is Mrs. G.Parker.
And she had a crazy game.
Unconscious score. I mean, and I was sitting right next to her, and I'm going to confess, I was coaching her a little bit on this one about some of the rules because I did know some of the little games to play in there. But when she got up to that high score, she finally just, when it was between ball 2 and 3, she said, "Look, I got a good score. Get away from me." So I think I was driving her nuts. So I don't know if that helped or not. But,
right.
But I see that Arcade Chaos is in the chat, so I want to say hello to Arcade Chaos. I don't know if anybody else is in here, but before we get going too far, can I bring in our special guest? We have a special guest.
Yeah, bring him in.
So everybody, I want you to put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Mr. Postile.
Look at him.
Mr. Postile was able to make it tonight. He usually can't because he's working late. Now, he's not going to say much tonight because you can see he just finished off. What's that song say? He finished off a double round of Crown. So you can see it there. So,
yeah, he's got that bottle pretty low right now. He's been working it.
We'll leave him up there. We'll leave him on with us for a little bit here. And anyway, I hope you enjoy seeing Mr. Postile with us this evening. Good to see you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where we stand so far. It looks like on week 4. Yeah, week 4, which was I think it's a fun table, but it is a son of a gun. You know, it was just, there's no ball saves in that thing. You drain. I mean,
right.
But, okay, Champagne Room came out our top spot. Apple Blossom came out next, along with Wavy Creature 539. Now, they seem to be coming in the top 1, 2, and 3, kind of mixing it up a little bit. So that's our three. Now, let's see. I'm looking at the next score down. Apple Blossom has had a real good week. So, but the scores are still not that crazy bad. But you couldn't be in the finale if you make every week. Because remember, you get a point for every week you show up.
Right.
So anyway, are you looking at the bottom down here? We've got another guest. We've got another guest here. Let's bring him on.
Hey!
Oh, my God. It's real, Mr. Postile.
How you doing?
Holy cow.
Twins.
How's it going, Poe? Good to see
Good.
you,
How you guys doing?
brother.
It's good to be here.
Why don't you wave at your brother over there next to him? Then we're gonna throw him out here.
Nice.
I kind of figured you'd be on your way to work listening to this in the morning. I didn't know you'd be here tonight, and I thought he's going to wonder what the hell is going on. I'm not on there.
Yeah, I actually have doctor's appointments tomorrow, so I had to take the day off. I work today, then I'll be off tomorrow, and then back to work Tuesday. So,
We are super excited to have you. And since you're here, there's been something that Bart and I've kind of talked about. Let me finish just telling people about this real quick. The scores are coming out good. We've got the point differential still not that great. Most of the people got some 4s, 5s. The top ones are 13, 11, and 7. There's some 6s in here. But, I mean, by the amount of people we have, we're going to have plenty of people to have a real good-sized postseason playoff afterwards. So don't get discouraged. Keep coming back. We're going to have a good time. So, but I know that I'm going to turn it back over to Bart because I know, Bart, we had talked one time about talking to Mr. Postile. So I'm going to kind of let you take the lead here and you're going to talk to him, see if he didn't mind giving up a little bit about what it's like, how much he's played pinball before. And I don't know, you know where I'm headed with that?
I think so. I mean, usually we just talk about Poe and not to him. So but
I can always bring him back, you know.
But no, yeah, we were talking the other day, and you seem to really you're embracing this tournament. Poe's getting in on this tournament every week, and as is Mike Seeby, who hasn't. You know, me and Greg play pinball all the time, and Chaos plays pinball, but you and Mike really seem to have been playing quite a bit lately. So what's going on there? You're starting to fall into the pinball trap?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and for me, if you're somebody that's you got stuff going on all the time, it's something that you could do real quick in the evenings after work. You can get in there and get a game or two or 50 in, depending on how determined you are to beat your score. But a lot of the console games and stuff, especially the AAA epic games, are just too hard. I mean, my family buys them for me for Christmas. I play them on Christmas break, and that's it. I never get even halfway through those games. And something like pinball, it's fun, it's addictive, and especially, I have to say, especially when you're playing with friends in a tournament, makes all the difference in the world to me, because otherwise I might play a few single player games here and there, but knowing that we all talk to each other daily, can take a picture and say, look, I really suck. Or I can take a picture and say, look, I beat you. And then 5 seconds later, well, I beat you, it's all fun. It's great. So,
right.
I like the competitive. I think you like me. You like the competitive edge to it, but yet it's quick. I mean, what would you say, Bart? We've talked about this before. What's the average length of time you play 3 balls? Unless you do like Cheryl did earlier today and hit 80 million. I mean, she felt like she was on there forever. But what's the average time? What, 3 to 5 minutes? 2 to 4 minutes? I don't know. You're not on the long per game, are you?
Yeah. Right, and depending on the table.
Let's pretend to be Bart, Poe. I think you froze up on us there, Bart. So we'll wait for him to come back. Wait a second. Okay, off grid is now coming back up on another window here. So let me remove him here and add him here and see if we got a better connection.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Oh, I had a minor Starlink drop. Sorry about that. I'm guessing I'm back.
No, yeah. You sound good. You sound good. I think we were just talking about how it's a little bit of a competitive edge, but yet it's fun. We were talking about time. How much time you spend on a pinball, as Poe was talking about. It's not like you got to spend 2 hours playing it.
Right. Yeah, and that's the beauty with new, and I know we'll talk about that later, the new Pinball FX, when you do those trials of the tables, you only get 2 minutes, but the way I play, sometimes that's a full game. It's like, you play a game like Funhouse, you can do a whole game in 2 minutes, but now Adventureland, those are running a bit longer. Oh, you had that big old game earlier, right? You played that 68 million or whatever when you weren't in the tournament. That was probably a
how about
game.
that? And then I go back to the tournament and screwed up again. So you gotta love it. Yeah. Especially whenever they announce multi-ball or whatever, and then they all just go right down the drain, right immediately.
Right. Yeah.
I want to say hi to Gaming Road Warrior. I want to say hi to My Arcade, just for stopping by. Digital Graffiti Playhouse, which I think that's isn't that you, Chaos? I don't know.
Chaos' evil twin.
That's Chaos' evil. Hey, Bart, can you? I want to sit and visit with Poe a bit, but before we get any deeper into anything and talk about Pinball FX, which would be fun because now we got a PlayStation 5 player here. Let's finish up talking about our tournament. I'm going to go into the arcade room and show where we're standing on that. If you got control now, you could kick me off here and bring up my arcade room, and I'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been waiting all night to kick Greg off of here. Yeah, it's funny. Before we started, we were in the little room, and he had his little dummy thing over there with the Mr. Poe style, and I would just come. And
I didn't even see that before I joined in. I was shooting my own video, and then I said, well, I'm going to join the stream because I don't have to go to bed right now. So,
right. Well, I just poked my head in there from time to time to see if Greg showed up yet, and I just saw it, and I was like, hey, Poe's going to be here. I'm like, what the heck is he wearing? I was like, oh, that isn't Poe.
Oh, it's funny, guys. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let me turn my volume up here.
Oops.
Hopefully I can hear you guys. Okay, here we go. If you're ready for me, it's hard for me to see. I'm trying to bring this up and everybody up at the same time. Okay, here we go with the standings for Adventureland, Week 5. Mrs. Parker, 82,454,000 off grid. Pretty close behind, really, the way these scores are spread out, but 48,549,000. Mrs. Off grid, 14,935,000. Bastille, 14,013,000. Let's get that other one. I know who that is, and maybe that's another account. I'm behind there with 9,514,000. Postile up there with 9 million, right on my heels. 251,000, and then GTH 2370 in there at 5,559,000. So I'm telling you, the scores are just looking fantastic. And you got to remember, there's only 5 tries. I'm going to ask you, Bart, how many tries have you made?
Yeah, your audio is breaking up pretty bad, Greg.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the office. If you got everything we need, I think I'll head back to the office.
Okay. I guess I'll wait to answer him until he gets back. We'll look at his empty chair. Yeah.
Prettier than him.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree though, Poe. And that's one of the things when you were talking about that, how you can jump in and jump right back out of pinball and you don't have to dedicate hours at a time. That's why I loved it when I had my Robotron 2084 machine in the dining room. Because you'd be watching TV and a commercial break come on. I could pump out two games of Robotron in a commercial.
Yeah. Robotron's one of my favorite games. That is a great game.
I'm sorry about the audio in there. I set that up, and I don't know why I couldn't hear you guys either. And there's been times it's worked, so who knows?
Yeah,
Stuff happens.
it was fine earlier, but yeah, when we were just doing it now, it's probably because of Poe. It's not used to Poe being here, so your
Right.
your audio in there was like, fuck that. I don't want to talk to that guy.
There's probably little Poe in there with his bottle of Crown. He was messing with it.
He was messing with it. But I've only played one so far, Greg. I think that's what you asked me. How many attempts have I done so far? That was my first attempt.
How about you, Poe?
I think it was only 2 that I did so far. I think because I went and played single player to try to get better in between. So, and I did on there. All of a sudden, I had fiery balls and multi balls and everything, and then I go back to the tournament and nothing. So.
For those of you that watched my noon video, my plan was let's run late, getting home. I rushed home. I try to get this thing started on time. It won't always happen that way, but I try to get it going. And anyway, Retro Arcade Music Band. Or did you ever find Jailbreak play yet? Did you ever find Jailbreak?
Jailbreak, no. I got to look for that. I didn't have time. I worked today, so although Sundays usually it's only 8 hours, so it was a lot nicer. I got home at 3 p.m. instead of 5 p.m., so I played some pinball because you guys had a head start this week. No fair. I want to be in the top 2. The only way I can do that is if there's 2 of us.
Well, that's what I was going to explain. When I got home today, I had it all set up. I had my video set up, and I had it, I got it all set up, and I thought, okay, at the strike of noon, I'm going to start recording myself doing this video. And I got it all set up, and I put my password in. And I was telling everybody, this is how you put in the password. You're watching me. We're going at it, man. And I was going to upload it instantly afterwards. Well, I realized that I left the volume up on the pinball machine, which meant when the game's playing, because with that capture device, it's capturing the sound internally and then coming through the speakers. They couldn't hear me. So I just reached the way that V pin is, you can't turn the volume down unless you use the keyboard, which I have a volume control on. So I was just pushing the volume control button down. My finger slipped and hit the power off. There's a power off button right next to it. I shut down the whole system.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I started the game. And my video's gone. Everything's gone. Reboot, restart Pinball FX3, start up Steam, get it all going. Well, then I noticed, I said, well, shoot, I only got 4 tries left. So do that for the demo for the video. So now I'm down to 3 tries, and I'm waiting till the last day to see if I can catch up with you guys.
I'm listening to Greg's story here, waiting for him to say, "Yeah, and I was at 170 million when I pushed it. It was an amazing game. It's a shame it was lost."
I think that's
the
hard part. 5 attempts. The hard part for me is just that I like coming home and playing a game each night, on the tournament. So 5 attempts means that's going to be less days that I can come home and play. If I get greedy and do 2 attempts tonight, then I got 3 attempts left. So it's like, I want this to stretch out the whole week. I know I'm not going to be anywhere near number 1, but I have a lot of fun doing this. So, but yeah, it's a good challenge. It's an excellent challenge to only have that many attempts. I mean, we're getting up there now. We're halfway through the 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So things are going to get a little trickier now.
Yeah, and we're going to get down to 1 ball, and we're going to get down to some other things. But, hey, the way you're playing, I'm telling you, and I got to compliment, Mike, Gaming Road Warrior, just put something up there. I'm telling you what, Poe, I've seen your scores greatly improve. Just, you're getting a hand in it. Bart's always been kind of a rival of mine. He seems like he came clear up from Texas to my house and kicked my butt, and his wife too. So, her name is permanently embedded in my Stranger Things in the high score. As a matter of fact, my son was here, and I told him, I said, play that particular challenge round and see if you can knock that Kelly off of there. And he tried and couldn't knock her name off that score. So, but what I was going to say is Mike. I'm telling you what, Mike. I think Mike has been sandbagging. I think he told us that he didn't play much. I think he's been a pinball wizard all his life. Is smoking.
Well, he's definitely played real machines, real tables in real life, right? He had videos on his other channel, I think, about that, playing like Star Trek and things like that.
Right.
Real tables, when I was younger, wasn't something, I was born in 73, but I was an 80s kid. We didn't get to arcades much, and when we did, you were playing the arcade cabinets, the video games, not so much the pinball, right? For some of us anyway. And so really pinball, once in a while we would play it. And I played it then as a kid, as I did when we started this stuff. It's like, just hit the flippers. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know where I needed to go with everything, how to even really trap the ball to do what you want to do. So I'm starting to get to know that, but with a different game, a different table every week, there's different rules, there's different places you need to go. So, it's like, I got to figure this out, especially now with the limited attempts. It's like, I got to figure this out real quick if I want to try to score big on the thing.
Right. Well, that's why we tried to put the list out, and I'll try to get that out again so you can look ahead. And I don't have it in front of me right now, but try to get it to know what's coming up, so that you can have a chance to maybe take a longer look. And I'm going to put a plug in right now. He was unable to join us tonight. I did talk to him earlier, though, and Digital Victory, if you got a chance. I don't know if he's done a lot of these FX tables, but if you want to, I think just watching him will teach you how to do about any game, because he's explaining to you how rules work. And I don't know, it's just, I've watched his stuff and played a table after watching his stuff, and it definitely helps me. So check out his channel. There's a link in the description of this video to all of our channels, but check his out.
Yeah. Now, Retro had asked in there, can you play incognito just to practice? You can just go into single player mode and not be in the tournament to practice all you want. But as Poe found out earlier, sometimes that's not so good, because you'll do a practice game and get better than your last 10 games combined, and it didn't count.
Right.
You can on these limited ones. You can always just play, single player and practice and practice and practice, and then jump in. You don't have to play in the tournaments every time. But let's see, Mike was talking here about the real pinball. The arcade at his mall has a real pinball machine. Star Trek is his favorite. Elvira is Scared Stiff second. Twilight Zone pinball. I like the Elvira tables. I think they're at 3 Elvira tables now, and I think they're all really fun tables. But Scared Stiff is a really good table.
Well, if anybody's got anything else they want to ask or bring up about the tournament, now's the time to ask, because I think I'm going to try to steer us over another direction.
Yeah.
Because
Chaos has an important question for Poe.
Sure.
Is that the new Atari hat with the speakers built in?
Yes, and I haven't charged it yet, and I haven't, connected it to my phone for the speaker quality. I just put it on tonight because I'm shooting an Atari video. So I'm doing Alien for the Atari 2600, did the intro tonight, and that was request of Gaming Road Warrior for me to do the Alien 20th Century Fox. So maybe that video will be out tomorrow if I get to the gameplay and everything. But I figured, why not wear my Atari hat for it?
Excellent.
And again, for those watching, in the links down below in the description is everybody's. This is being simulcast on Off Grid's channel and this channel. So, but also be sure to check out Gaming Road Warrior. Great stuff coming out of that channel. Also, be sure to check out, as I mentioned, Mr. Postile coming up with some great Atari stuff. He's even be featured on some other channels. So he's done a great job out there with talking about stuff, and an up-and-coming pinball player. Along with, I can't leave out my good friend, Arcade Chaos. Be sure to check him out, because I did beat you at baseball the other night, too. You can say all you want that you did. It was only 1-0, but I did beat him.
I know I didn't forget you either, Off Grid. I'm still planning the Wizard of War.
Oh,
yours is just going to be a longer video. You played, so I told you I would play this, but I have 3 versions of the game, so I'm going to need some time to make this video. So
That's good. I'm patient. I'm waiting for Greg to talk about. Didn't you play someone else in that baseball on the Switch the other day too? How'd that turn out?
There was a guy who pitched a no-hitter. He wiped me 16 or 17 to nothing. I mean, and I'll tell you what, and I will give this to Chaos. I was pretty down because of the deal with Bart kicking me. So late that night, Bart had gone to bed, and Rick was still out, and we were talking. And he said, "I'll play you a game." So next thing you know, but he took it easy on me. So I did beat him 1-0, but he did take it easy on me. So I've got to get my timing down with that batting. It's not that good. This is fine. But Bart did. Bart's a baseball man. I'm telling you what, he's a baseball man.
I tell you, I tried that tutorial and I sucked at batting in the beginning of it. I'm trying to hurry up and squeeze it in before dinner time the other day, and I was just like, "What in the heck am I doing?" So I got to get back to it.
Just for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, there's a game that we all got on the Switch. It was on sale for $1. And if one of you guys can remember the name, I don't have my Switch down here, but it's on sale, I think, to the 20-something. Chaos, you could put that up in the chat if you remember the name of that game, but it's $1. But I'll tell you what, you can play it against the computer. You can create your own team, but it's a little tricky the first time. But Bart and I figured it out right away and got hooked up online to play. I mean, how many games for $1 can you play online with somebody?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And my problem is the fielding. Man, I try to dive for a ball. I'm missing. Now my guy's laying on the ground. I can't get up, but that's all fun stuff. Yeah, let's see. Just getting into the chat, Chaos had asked about the Toy Story and Scooby-Doo. That Scooby-Doo pinball machine looks awesome. I don't know if you guys have any videos on it. It looks like it's a really awesome table. And then I guess Retro, he got an opportunity to play the Toy Story yesterday at the same arcade where we had met up and played some pinball. So they didn't have it there when we were there, but so that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
He says it's an amazing table. Or Chaos is amazing.
Can I switch gears real quick? Because I know we didn't want to be too late. Because I know you guys both got. I know you got to get up early, Bart, and thank God you got the day off. Poe, Jiminy Christmas. It is getting late. But what I was going to bring, I wanted to bring up something real quick though, because I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk to Poe about. We've all been talking. Bart and I've been putting out videos about Pinball FX, and if you check out Mr. Posthouse channel, he put out one the other day on Pinball FX. And the reason it's interesting is because Bart and myself have been playing on Steam and with Pinball FX3, and we've been playing on the Switch. But this Pinball FX came out, and now it's on PlayStation. Yeah. And we've done some videos. So I want to hear from Mr. Posthouse a little bit about the experience of FX Pinball for him.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to wait for Switch just because I like seeing you guys, my friends on there. Your wives are on there. Mike is on there. Chaos is on there. But I couldn't wait. You guys were talking about it for what? It's been almost a year. Was it May of last? I can't remember when you guys started talking about being in early access.
Early access, yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah, it was in March. It was in March of last year.
March?
Yeah.
And so I was going to wait. And I'm not someone that loves the double dip. Sometimes I do, but I got excited. And so I went ahead and downloaded it. And I did this all from work. Downloaded it through the PlayStation app to my PS5 so it would be ready when I came home. And I knew that I wanted to try Peanuts, Snoopy's Pinball, and Garfield for sure. And then I actually went in and got a few other ones that you guys have been talking about, some of the packs. I think they had like was it Game Gear, Borderlands. I love the Borderlands games. The real original Borderlands games on consoles. So I wanted that pinball table.
That is a blast.
I haven't tried the table yet, but yeah, the original games I loved. Borderlands 1, 2, and 3. I played with my brother and my best friend on the PS4. So I wanted to get that. And what is the other one? Is it Brothers in Arms or something like that? I bought the pack. I bought the pack for that too. But what is strange right now with PlayStation 5 that I've noticed is I'll try to click on certain tables to buy the pack, and it says not available. Like the one Williams collection that has Funhouse. I clicked on it just to see, and it says not available. But if I go on the app on my phone, you can buy it and download it to your PlayStation. So I think maybe Zen is having a few problems right now with that kind of thing.
I was rating on Zen's Facebook community group, that people were complaining that with the PlayStation, they were having trouble getting the game. They said they're blacked out. Why are they doing this? They say you go buy it on your PC and then it'll download. I don't know.
Yeah, and if you do it on your phone, you can buy it and download it right from your phone. And when you get home, it's on there. It's ready to go if you have your PlayStation set up for that. And the difference to me is night and day between Switch. I mean, Switch is great on FX3. Everything looks great whenever you look at it on there and play it. But the PS5 with the ray tracing we talked about off-grid, it looks like you're standing in front of a real pinball table. The lighting on it and everything looks like the real lighting. It looks awesome if you have a 4K TV and you have everything set up for that. So I don't know. It doesn't make a difference in gameplay, but it looks really nice when you're playing the thing. And I've had a lot of fun. I don't normally do those kind of videos. The people that watch my channel like the older stuff, so I don't get a lot of hits on that kind of stuff. Anything PlayStation 5 since I got it at Christmas time has been low in numbers. But I love playing video games from the beginning clear up to what we have now. So I like to share stuff on there. And pinball is definitely one of them, if I can convince other people out there to try them. Because I did have some Zen, I think even way back as far as like the PlayStation 3, I had downloaded because it was always free, right, to download the thing and then buy a few tables.
You usually get one or two tables you can play for free.
And that's about all I ever did with, like, back in the PlayStation 3 games. Like, okay, I would like to try this, and I played it, and never really got into it until I met you guys and saw how fun it really could be and the strategies that you guys share with us. It's been a good experience so far with the PlayStation 5 with Pinball FX, but like I said, there are some tables, they'll tell you right there when you're playing the game on the PS5, you try to buy it and it says not available. But you go on your phone to the PlayStation Store app, you type in Pinball FX, click add-on, and the games are there. So if you're looking for that, that's what you need to do. Put the app on your phone, click on it, buy it through your phone, and hit download, and it'll download. It'll be ready to go whenever you're ready to play on your PS5 when you get home.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Greg was saying on the Facebook page, I saw it on Reddit also, same deal. People were saying, I go in-game, try to buy it, and it's not there. It says not available, but I go to the PlayStation Store, and they can buy it that way. So
right.
That seems to be the – let me ask you this, Poe. Have you noticed any flipper lag at all on your PS5 when you're playing?
No, I haven't noticed any flipper lag with it. Mostly I've played games like the Snoopy game and the Garfield game on there. Now, to me, and I don't know if it feels this way for you guys, but it even felt this way on FX3 for me. Some of those games that aren't the Williams games feel a little slower to me for some reason. Even, like I said, playing on the PS4 or playing on the Switch, for whatever reason, some of those, even Zen's original games, feel a little slower to me than the Williams games. I don't know how to really explain that, but whenever the ball is coming down and stuff, it feels like the Williams games feel more real to me than some of these games. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I really enjoy the Williams games. Like I said, I don't normally double dip, but if they have a sale, I'll be getting Funhouse and stuff like that again for the PS5 just because it feels great on there. I did the trial and it felt great and it looked great, But I haven't had the lag that you talked about. It's just...
Well, I saw on Reddit people were saying there was flipper lag, and then I think I sent you a text saying, hey, watch out for that. And then I saw other people that were saying they didn't have any problem. And then Zen said that they were on top, and they released a patch the next day. So, and I don't know, I don't remember. I think your timing worked out to where you weren't really available to play it your first day you got it, were you? Yeah. So it might have already run the patch. So, so hopefully they got that fixed. And if you're not noticing, that's why I was curious. I've read on Reddit, but you don't know. Here I have someone that's actually played. I can ask you. But
right. Yeah, it feels like when you hit it, you're ready to go. But like I said, but I even noticed that on the Switch. Even games like Family Guy and stuff like that seem slower to me than a Williams pinball.
There is a different physics model between the Williams tables and the Zen originals, and especially with the new FX, they've done a new upgraded even more with the Williams tables compared to the Zen original tables. And then of course some of them just have less of an incline, so the ball might react slower. Right. But in some of them, the ball is more floaty feeling, for lack of a better term. But I think the Williams tables, especially with the new FX, are supposed to be the best physics they've released yet as far as realistic feeling.
Yeah, they feel good. They feel good, I think.
I haven't bought any Williams tables yet for the new FX. Because I started off just buying tables that they didn't have, so I wasn't double dipping. And I think one of the first Williams tables they released that wasn't on FX3 was the Bride of Pinbot. And I'm not a huge fan of that table. I have it on VPX, and I played it once and never went back to it. So I was like, well, I'm not in a hurry to buy that one. But now they got the Addams Family is, man, it's so tempting, but it's $10, but I don't know. I'll probably.
You've got that was one of the subjects I was going to bring up tonight. I think Poe, you did get Addams Family, did you?
Yeah.
I was going to bust Bart a little bit about that and say, because let me talk a little bit about cross-platforming and double dipping and stuff. I do agree. I understand why people hate having to buy again. And Zen did. They said a lot of things that I think they're going to regret. And they said they were going to cross-platform. I think that's part of the ticket thing. Then people are mad because they had the tickets and they're mad they got rid of them. But one thing I'll say is I bought all the tables for Steam to play on my PC so that I could play them on my cabinet, which is what I wanted. Well, now FX has come out, and I'm only buying the ones that are new. Well, I got to back up. I bought them all on Steam for my cabinet, and then I went out and bought. I got Pigeon written on my back. I bought every one of them again for my Switch, and the main reason for that is a number of reasons. One is because portability. When I was in the hospital, if I'm going somewhere, I go on a trip, I can take it with me. The other thing is the Switch has something that none of them have, and that is I can have multiplayers. You notice my wife can play on a tournament, and I can play on a tournament. We only have to buy it once. She didn't have to buy the table. I don't have to buy it. You can't do that on Steam or on Epic that we found. So, right. So I guess what I'm saying is this is going to be my predicament, and I'm going to end with a question here. My predicament is going to be is when it releases for the Switch. I'm just buying ones on FX that I can't get on FX3, but am I going to buy them on the Switch again? And my next question is what Poe said. I'm going to get into a point where Poe mentioned that the graphics on the PlayStation 4 and the graphics on our PCs are pretty high. Is the Switch going to be able to match? Is the Switch even capable of matching the graphics of Pinball FX? That's my question.
No, the Switch is not going to. It's not going to be able to play what Poe's seeing on his PS5 for sure. They're going to have to take off the ray tracing, and yeah, I think it's going to. That's why it's taking longer to come out on the Switch. I think because they're having to really. I mean, going from the Epic version to play on a PC to the PS5 and the Xbox newest generations, it's a far closer thing than going down to the Switch. So I think they are going to have to dumb them down, for lack of a better term, take away some of the whistles. But I still think it's going to look at least as good as the FX3 and probably a little bit better than the FX3 did. And we can sit here all we want and say, Zen, that dang Lars probably screwing us again. But I'm going to double dip. I know I am, because the portability. And
you got to bring up something that you and I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, you and I brought up something. It just seemed like this fall into this double dipping thing, or how much games cost. Let's just look at that aspect. Bart, you and I have talked about this before. If you go to a sports bar, if you go to an arcade, unless you're paying by the hour, when I bought that Stranger Things, it was set up for $1 a play. Of course, I could change it. I owned it. But if you pay $5, $6 for a table, I know that's not what we used to. You used to be able to get a pack of 3 for $10. But really, if you buy a table, especially as good as Zen's graphics are, there's a lot of things about them that tick me off. But come on, man, where do you find tables that look that good and play that good and you can have that much fun with? $5, well, by the time you played 5 times in an arcade, it's paid for.
Right. Yeah. And I know we had talked about doing the if they do cross-platform, which they're still saying cross-platform might come out with the Pinball Pass, which is what, $100 a year, I think, or $30 a month, something like that. Got the
well, you're asking what Poe's drinking. It depends on which Poe you're looking at. This Poe, here's my crown.
But
that's old Poe's hat, by the way. That's
yeah. I don't know that I'm going to do the Pinball Pass. I think even if they do cross-platform on it, I was thinking about it, and at $100 a year, I can buy quite a few tables for $100, and then I just have them. So I'm probably just going to double dip. And there's certain, I don't think I'm going to buy all of the tables like I did. I'm like you, Greg. I have all of them on my Steam and for FX3, and I have all of them almost all of them for the Switch. So we bought most of them. I don't know that I'm going to buy all of them on FX. But I'm sure all the tables that I get on Epic, I'm going to end up getting on the Switch, so that if we do tournaments later, Kelly can play on the Switch and I can play and we can get on there, even though it's usually embarrassing because then our wives beat us, but that's okay.
Double dipping is probably something that I'll do. Like I said, with the Switch, all of you guys, my buddies, are on the Switch, so I hate not being able to see you guys in the tournaments. You know what I mean? Like when it comes up on there, seeing the little faces and stuff on the Switch that Chaos is playing, Mike's playing, Mrs. Offgrid, Mrs. G.Parker's playing on there. So I've double dipped in the past for several other things. I'm sure I'll do it again. But since it came out first for the PS5, I just had to do it. You guys have been talking about it, and I've been thinking about it. And I really wanted to play Snoopy and Garfield, so I had to get on that.
Yeah, and I think just for the graphic enhancements alone, it was probably worth getting at least a handful of them on that PS5 because I would love to see how that looks in person because I watched your videos. You did what? It's Snoopy and Garfield, didn't you?
Yeah. And then I played the trial of Funhouse for the heck of it, but I really sucked at the trial. The 2 minutes were gone before I did anything at all. So,
right, yeah. Well, I'm sure it looks much better live than when you're watching it on YouTube. So,
right,
because obviously YouTube only goes as good as whatever you're watching it on. But
right.
Well, guys. We're going on 45 minutes. I know we all got early. Hopefully you'll stick around, Poe, for a few afterthoughts for the after party in the green room. But right now, unless anybody's got any, have we missed anything, Bart? It's kind of, we've kind of still running this show. Is there anything else we needed to bring up before we go into final thoughts?
No, sorry. I was reading the chat over here. I was tuning you out. No, I think we pretty much covered everything we talked about today. So, yeah, I think it went well. This show was this was fun. It's nice to have Poe back on the show. We haven't talked to Poe live in a while. It would have been nice if Mike would have showed up, but he's goofing off doing other stuff, hanging out.
Oh, he's got to do the cons and hanging out with celebrities and buying great games. You screw him.
I saw him with old Bill. I told him to tell Bill that I said hi. Old Bill Shatner. I saw a picture of.
I saw that too. Bill looked a little constipated in that picture to me.
Yeah, all I could think of when we saw these pictures is that Mike used to hang out with us, but as soon as Bruce Campbell and Michael J. Fox, he's there, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't need these little YouTube guys that play their pinballs shenanigans."
That had to have been a great weekend, right? 3 days doing that. I mean, they definitely get bigger selection of celebrities out on the West Coast than they do over here in Pittsburgh. But we're getting there. I just haven't seen enough of the bigger guys together at the same time to draw me back there for the last year. So, but it looked like he had a great time.
Pennsylvania just needs to get better football teams. That's all.
Oh.
Yeah. See, now I didn't get quite as close to Shatner as Mike did, but I did watch him go up in the rocket. So that was right out here. So that was interesting.
Years ago, I went to Steel City Con, and Adam West and Burt Ward were there. And they were doing a thing where you could not take pictures at their booth. You had to do the professional pictures. You could go to their booth for a signature. And my boy was just little at the time. He sat down right next to Adam West. He just sat down right there. He needed to tie his shoe. There was an extra chair there that was probably for a handler or something. So I'm like, I'm just getting a picture of my boy and Adam West at the same time. Yeah, that's a no-no at these, by the way. If you noticed my video on the convention last year, when you're shooting video just walking around, you're not supposed to get the celebrities at their table because they're charging for this kind of stuff. So I'm sure Mike ran into the same kind of thing. You can't just shoot them while they're sitting there. But we did it. I kind of did it with Lou Ferrigno by accident, too. Me and my boy walked up to talk to him, and my daughter took a picture, and Lou noticed her at the last second. I'm like, oh, he's going to Hulk out on my daughter. He's going to beat the tar out of my little girl here. But
that always has driven me nuts. I'm thinking, you know what? Well, of course, I guess it depends on how many years back. But, everybody's got a cell phone now. I remember when you used to go to concerts, no recording devices, no nothing. I mean, come on, give me. Leonard Skinner came to town one time, and Cheryl actually won a thing with a radio contest, and we got to go backstage to see him. And it was, and it was kind of funny because they herded us. Same thing Mike was describing in his chat. They kind of herded you back there, get the picture. They did let you use your cell phone, so take a picture. Then they herded you right out. Well, one of the guys from Skinner, and I forget which one it was, I just said, "Hey, man, welcome to Kansas City." And he started talking to me, and the guy grabbed me and drugged me away like, "You're done. Your time's done." And I think it kind of pissed off the band member because he was kind of wanting to chat a little bit. He kind of looked like, leave the guy alone. I mean,
right? Yeah, these handlers are told a certain thing. And sometimes the celebrities do want to talk. We met Henry Winkler the one year, and he wanted to talk forever, and eventually it got to the point where they were like, you can't, there's other people here waiting, But you got to be respectful, I guess, of the people behind you. But at the same time, this is the celebrity there. If he wants to talk to somebody, let the guy talk,
Well, that's why I was doing this earlier, because I think, I can see if it's their time. But, if some guy thinks that he's so important that you can't take a picture of him with your cell phone, then I say, get over yourself.
Right. Yeah, they charge for the shots, and well, I won't get into it all here, but things have got a lot more complicated. I think locally it's gotten a lot bigger at our cons now, so it's harder to see people. The last one we went to, there was a certain celebrity from the Goonies that thinks he's bigger than everybody else and just showed up when he wanted to, when he had people waiting 2 or 3 hours before he got there when he was supposed to be there. So it's kind of crazy. Sometimes it's best not to meet your childhood heroes, And then there's other ones like Henry Winkler, you can never say anything bad about the guy because when you see him on TV, that's who you meet. And just the nicest guy, and talk to my kids just like they were special and important to him. So there's certain people that are great, and there's other ones that are just in their own heads, you know.
I don't
But
know
I'm
if
glad.
of course, everybody gets tired because I talk about the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl winners this year. You know, who's a big Super Bowl Kansas City Chiefs fan and was invited to Kansas City because he mentioned that he loved Patrick Mahomes. He was sitting in the owner's suite here at Arrowhead Stadium, and when he invited Mahomes out to dinner when they were out in California. So Henry Winkler, from what I've heard, is a hell of a guy, hell of a nice guy.
Yeah, when I met him, I totally freaked because, you know, I was a kid that grew up with that show, and I watched it even after the Fonz jumped the shark. And when I met him, he looked like just a little old librarian or school teacher with a little purple sweater on. And I said to my kids, I'm wearing a leather jacket at the time. And I'm like, this is the Fonz. And I said, you know, he taught us that you didn't have to always fight to get what you wanted. You know, the Fonz would come in the room and people would back down. It was all about your presence. And Henry Winkler looked at me when I'm saying this to my kids, and he said, have you seen the size of me? There's no way I could fight these guys. So I had to do something. You know, it's like the guy's like 5'4" or whatever, and I'm 6'4" standing next to him. My kids, even at the time, were like 13 years old, and they were taller than the guy, you know, but he was just such a genuine, nice person. And I'm really glad that Mike had a great weekend. He met one of the other people that I'd love to meet is Bruce Campbell from the Evil Dead series, one of my favorite series. So.
I screwed up. I hit a button I wasn't supposed to. Somebody
Did you kick Mike out of the chat?
Yeah, I don't know what I did. I should know just to let Bart do things. Hey, I'm going to go into final thoughts. We're going on 54 minutes. Hopefully you stick around a little bit, Poe, afterwards. But I'm going to take it around the room. Poe, anything? I always give everybody a final thought.
I'm really happy with Pinball FX. You guys have been building it up for me here for a while, and I just couldn't wait because I'm just like that, you know. Just all of a sudden, you guys mentioned a game in our chat, and I'm buying the thing, even if I shouldn't be buying the thing, you know. But it's great. It's definitely worth your time, and it's free to download, and you get to try different tables out. And if you want to buy something, you buy it. If you don't, you don't. It's as simple as that. But if you have a PS5 or, like I said, on the new Xbox, it's going to look great. It's going to look great on your PC, and I'm sure it's going to play great on the Switch when it comes out. Like I said, it might not look as beautiful, but you don't need that. Look at me. I play Atari 2600 games all the time, and I enjoy the hell out of them. So, yeah, Pinball FX, I think we're going to have a good time, and I hope to see some new Williams tables on there, not just the old. I hope to see some new stuff on there because I enjoy the Williams tables.
Yeah.
Bart?
Yeah. I just want to add with that. Now I forgot what I was going to add with it. With the Epic, because you mentioned the trials. If you're playing on Epic, you don't even have to download all the tables. You can just click on it and play the trial. I think on the PlayStation Pro, don't you have to download the trial version?
Yeah, download the trial
to play them. Yeah. With Epic, you just click on the game. If you don't own it, it takes you right into the trial version. And yeah, I'm having a blast with that. But and then make sure anyone that hasn't gotten into the tournament, we are in week 5. We're playing Adventureland. The tournament is G.Parker's tournament. Look for it on FX3. And the password, like always, is off grid, all one word, all lowercase, OFFGRID. Hollywood Polo asked about the 4K At Games Pinball. We didn't really talk about that. I personally won't be buying that because I don't have an At Games Pinball now, but I'm hoping maybe I'll find a good deal on someone that's upgrading and they're selling theirs. So that's about as close as I'm going to get to an At Games 4K. But anyway, yeah, get in the tournaments. And at some point, we'll be doing tournaments on FX also. Me, Greg, and Poe have already played a couple little tournaments, just the 3 of us, but it's fun stuff.
Kind of froze up there. I hope I don't want to step on him.
Yeah.
He's still with us, Bart?
Go ahead, Greg.
Okay.
Yeah,
you look like you're back. Well, I'll give my final thought. First, I want to say I saw Polo asked about the. I did hear about that. The only reason I'm not getting one is I have no problem with their products. I have the Legends. I also have the Gamer Pro and the Gamer Mini, and I enjoy playing them. But I can't see any sense because I've got 2 homebrew V pins that run off a PC that are running the Steam and the Epic on the FX. So I probably won't be getting one, but I am glad to see that they are coming out. Whoops, I guess we. I did not do that as much as people. I did Jack, he says we'll kick each other off. But anyway, the only other thing I was going to say is, let's see, he's coming back. He's not here to control the board, so I got to. Okay, here he is. He's back.
Nope, he's gone again.
I just added to stream. There. Did you add I added at the same time? So, but I guess the other thing I wanted to say is, yes, thanks for participating in the tournament. I think Bart already covered that, but I know last thing I'm going to say is Poe mentioned something about, we're only playing these one, they playing 5 times and, you got to wait the whole week to play again. So I did not do that, Bart. What's going on?
Yeah, I think he's having a connection problem.
So anyway,
it froze up, so I backed myself out and came back in.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just say that we found that Pinball FX will cross-platform with PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, which is what Poe's got, and on our Epic. So what you might watch Bart and mine's channel. We've been setting up some private tournaments for ourselves. Maybe the rest of you in between time, we could set up some Pinball FX and see how many people are interested. So we'll put out some stuff on our channels about that maybe and get some more, get something going while this other tournament's going on. So that's all I've got. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Remember, tournaments start on Sunday, end on Friday, and we're here every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Central Time. And there is, who is it? What's his? That's
Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch Armstrong. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. It looks like Bart is in an ice cube chest. He's frozen. No, you know who that reminds me of? What was that guy's name? We'll catch that next time. Good night, everybody.